My name is Shaira binti Shoaib, A13, A1221. Today I want to present tutorial assignment 7 and 8. It's about into Africa. So Burkina Faso is the one of the country in West Africa. Landlocked country in West Africa, around 274,200 square kilometers in size. And Burkina Faso was renamed on 4th August 1984 by the President Thomas Sankara. This country formerly known as a Republic of Upper Volta. Before this, Burkina Faso is the one of French territory. So they get their independence in 1960. So after that, in 1984, they changed their name of the country. And of course, their official language is French. And this is the flag of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is surrounded by 6 countries, which is Mali in the north, Niger in the east, Benin to the southeast, Togo and Ghana in the south, Ivory Coast in the southwest. Population in Burkina Faso, the latest is 2014. The population is 17,322,796. The place in the world. Our population is 61st. 206 census is 14,017,262. Density is 57.4 per kilometer square and 148.9 per square meter. GDP nominal for this country is 12.239 billion and the per capita is 663. Okay, GDP PPP 216 estimate is 33 billion.436 and per capita is 1,811. PPP stands for purchasing power parity. Okay, the Gini 2000 estimation is that 39.5 in the rank of medium. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rashada binti Roslan with metal number A13A0847. I will present about the economic environment of Burkina Faso and the effect of economic environment to the retailer in the Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso have experienced average annual growth of 6% over the past few years. Burkina Faso growth slowed to a rate of 4% in 2014. They have a significant and persistent fall in price of gold and cotton, which are 27% and 8% respectively. Cereal production also declined in the economy of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso also have the political crisis in 2014. Due to the economic environment, they have some effect on Burkina Faso. For the first, it can have the higher transportation cost. It make the retailer can send their product to the consumer from one place to another place. So that can make the cost of transportation higher. Secondly, disruption in the power supply. Retailer will put the limitation distance to supply their product. Thirdly, import fuel inflationary pressure. Due to the higher transportation cost, they will import the fuel due to the inflation pressure. So they will get the fuel from another country. Lastly, they will increase energy production through the leasing of generators. So they will use the human resources other than a generator to reduce their cost of producing the product and supply the product to the end consumer. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Prof. My name is Gokweni of metric number A13A0235. And today I'll proceed with the political legal environment in Burkina Faso and how it will affect the local retail market. First and foremost, Burkina Faso has historically been politically stable and offer potential to exploit the larger West African retail market. Besides, it also have this diplomatic relationship with United States where they help to regain the peace and stability. United States' interests in Burkina Faso are to promote the continued democratization and greater respect for human rights, encourage sustainable economic development. The United States and Burkina Faso are engaged in a number of military training and exchange programs. Although the government has made a great effort in improving the regulatory environment for doing businesses in Burkina Faso, an unskilled and uneducated workforce, poor transportation infrastructure, periodic shortages of water and electricity, high energy costs, and a weak judicial system pose challenges for potential investors. Next will be the legal environment for Burkina Faso. They impose the import tariff towards the import activity, where Burkina Faso is a member of the West African Economic and Monetary Union, which imposes an external common tariff of 4 rates of 0%, 5%, 10%, and 20%. They also have these trade barriers, where non-trade barriers take the form of supplementary taxes on imports, targeted import bans, licensing requirements, and other barriers. A certificate of conformity and payment of an associated fee is required to import some products, including rice and batteries. On top of that, they also have these import requirements and documentation, where importing and exporting goods to Burkina Faso is free unless the good is subject to an import title or authorization as determined by the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Handicraft. Special authorization is required for imports of pharmaceutical, arms, ammunition, uniform as a product classified as toxic. They also have this prohibited and restricted imports, where Burkina Faso has removed most import and export restriction and streamlined the taxation and other administrative procedures. Restrictions still remain on the importation of drugs and other products considered as dangerous to the public health and security. All of this actually help the growth of local retail market and boost the nation's economy. Thank you.
My name is Lin Jawan, metric number A13803777. I'm going to present about the social-cultural environment in Burkina Faso and how it will affect the retail business over there. Firstly would be the demographic. Burkina Faso is an ethnically integrated secular state. Most of Burkina's people are concentrated in the south and center of the country, where their density sometimes exceeds 48 persons per square kilometer. Thousands of Burkina migrate regularly to Ivory Coast and Ghana, mainly for seasonal agricultural work. Secondly would be the social stratification. Many of the country's traditional societies have their own hierarchies. The Musi society differentiates between aristocrats, which is Nakomse, commoners, Taos, and slaves, Yemse. The Nakomse are people of power. Ancestors were horse-riding warriors and founders of the Mosi kingdom. They were not necessarily rich in a materialistic sense, but they controlled people. They had many followers and they took slaves, which were frequently integrated into their families. Next would be the religious belief. A tolerant country in matters of religion, Burkina Faso has no major conflict between the religions. Muslims reside largely around the northern, eastern and western borders, while Christians live in the center of the countries. Ouagadougou, the capital, has a mixed Muslim and Christian population. However, Bobo-Dioulasso, country's second largest city, is mostly Muslim. Lastly would be the education. The aim of all education is not to encourage an individual personality, but to integrate children into the social environment. About 1/3 of all children go to primary school. In urban areas, in the rates is about 3 times as high as in the countryside. Classes are quite large, with an average of about 50 people. Nationally, 2 girls for every 3 boys attend primary school, and only half of them continue secondary school. Then I will proceed to the impact of social-cultural environment on retail business. The firstly would be the limited human resources. As I mentioned before, they are not focused more on the education of the children. So in many African countries, it is a challenge for companies to find skilled local talent. In Burkina Faso, companies operating in the services sector such as banking, logistics, and hospitality is relatively easy to find the people they need, because many citizens are returning from abroad, which is widening the talent pool. However, mining, engineering, and telecoms companies, which require highly specialized skills, are struggling to find talent locally. Next will be the effect of being landlocked. Burkina Faso is a landlocked country, and most of its import travels through the ports of its neighboring country. Any issues in neighboring countries that cause delay at ports can have a negative impact on business in Burkina Faso, so especially for companies that depend much on the import. Lastly would be the limited natural resources. Burkina Faso is a country with limited access to natural resources in general and water resources in particular. Agriculture, which is dependent on fertile soil and availability of water, provides a key element of the basic daily living for more than 80% of the population. The available data does not support evidence of increased water scarcity because of climate change, but more climate variability with floods and droughts seems to be a reality as is increased water scarcity due to the rapid population growth. So these are the challenges an entrepreneur would face if he is considering doing business in Burkina Faso. Thank you.
My name is Deon Kiyo and metric number A13A0177. So I'm going to present on appropriate type of retail business that we can venture in Burkina Faso. Regarding the fact that Burkina Faso is still one of the poorest countries, the retail industry is very much limited. However, there are some emerging opportunities where the cotton industry is being supported by the government that allows the development of apparel retail business. It is very important to view the economic situations to decide which retail business to venture. The economy of Burkina Faso has been growing steadily over the last decade. Nevertheless, Burkina Faso remains one of the poorest countries in the world. Burkina Faso relies on international aid and money sent home by migrants. The existing industry mainly revolves around the processing of food, beverages, with some manufacture of other goods such as textiles, shoes, and bicycle parts. The growth of industry is hampered by the country's landlocked positions and its small domestic market. With much of the economy is still dependent on agriculture, the government is trying to encourage the nation's farmers to grow a wide variety of crops and plants. And however, Burkina Faso is Africa's largest producer of cotton, and this has provided the local farmers with opportunities to actually grow more. The cotton is mainstay of the country's economy, earning over $200 million in revenue each year. Due to the development of cotton industry, that is a retail business opportunities in apparel retail industry, whereby it is mainly targeting global market. This is because the exportations is the firm source of revenue for the business in Africa to survive. With nearly 50 different grades of cotton, Burkina's product is among the best. Its cotton is high quality with long, strong fibers and no impurities. Since the 1980s, investment in the cotton sectors have also fostered technology adoptions. Thanks to high-quality research cooperations with French and local researchers, farmer organizations, and top-down implementation policies. Instead of exporting the cotton, our group think that the retail business, such as selling cotton apparel, is feasible. Since the most important raw material is readily in Burkina Faso and the labor is also sufficient with lower cost for the retail business to be ventured. For information, human capital is growing in Burkina Faso as individuals return from neighboring countries. Young Burkinians seek opportunities across the country to display their skill. On the other hand, international finance corporations, World Bank Group, IFC, is supporting legal reform in 8 areas to help bring clarity, transparency, and simplicity to everyday business procedures in Burkina Faso. So how are we going to venture into this country if we want to start up an apparel retail business? So these are the areas that we are going to start up. Business registrations and startup to streamline procedures and reduce time costs. Employment regulations to encourage formal employment while protecting workers, contract enforcement to help business access the legal system to settle commercial dispute, property registrations to simplify and reduce the cost of acquiring and registering property associated with private investment, business closing to simplify liquidations and bankruptcy procedures, construction permits to simplify and reduce the cost of issuing building permits, and as well as cross-border trading to help speed and simplify trades, paying taxes to simplify the payment process. So with all these readily sourced to run a cotton wear retail business and the system from IFC, I think it is considered good enough to start up a cotton wear retail business in Burkina Faso. Instead of just depending on the export of cotton, there is a business opportunity of forward integration by manufacturing apparel using the cotton that is produced locally. This would allow lower cost of productions and higher value created on the product, which can lead to higher selling price for the product. This will lead to a higher revenue generated from the apparel retail industry. For example, Burkina Faso can come up with an international brand with the local manufacturings and work with the international established brands such as H&M, and also work with Malaysia Pardini apparel retail business. And this will allow Burkina Faso to learn to venture into this retail industry, and also we as Malaysians can also enter Burkina Faso and start up the apparel business using our own business format and also establish international brand. So I think we have a very good business venture idea if we would start with apparel retail business industry by using the local manufacturing that we can gain the competitive advantage of lower average cost of production. Thank you.